Alright, so recently I've been replaying Pokemon games because it's like my favorite series and I really enjoy these games. And then I also have been watching on YouTube a bunch of tier list videos for the main games, and I thought it'd be cool to give my own personal opinion on them. And I'm replaying the Pokemon games actually so I can work on some reviews for Pokemon games. So be on the lookout for those. But we're going to do a tier list. This is going to be mainly my opinion. I'm going to try and set aside being biased on like certain points. But yeah, this is like, despite the title, this is it's kind of like my opinion. But again, certain points I am going to be less biased, and I'm gonna, make sure I give credit, because even games like that I don't prefer, I don't even like, I'm still gonna give them credit for, certain things and all that. But with that said, let's just get into, doing the tier list. So, red and blue. I'm gonna give these a solid, I'm gonna get some flack for this one, but C. Now, it's hard comparing the, we're gonna go ahead and get these three out of the way. It's hard comparing these games because it was the first Pokemon games and it really was laying down the foundation. Yes, there's a lot of broken mechanics, but so I think it's unfair comparing these, but I am gonna put them on the list just to have that full completion. These games are not bad at all. It's just they don't really compare. There's so many broken mechanics in them, and I'm putting yellow above red and blue just because yellow's the third version. You get fucking Pikachu to start out with, and then you can get all the starters. I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna put them there. However, it really pains me to compare them. Same with Gold and Silver. These games are really good, but again, I feel like they're still sort of laying down this foundation for Pokemon. And then I'm going to put Crystal one above Gold and Silver just because it is the third version, more to it, more content, and different story elements that are in it. But it's really hard comparing these games. I cannot stress that enough. Like, I genuinely don't like having to compare these to the other ones just because it's almost unfair. But I feel like Gen 3 and onward, they have the formula. They know what they're doing now. So Gen 3 and onward, I'm going to be way more critical. But, yeah, this is where I'm going to put the earliest games. So, all right. Now, Ruby and Sapphire. I'm going to get some shit for this one. I never really got super into these games. I don't know if it's because of the Hoenn region or if there's a lot of Hoenn Pokemon that I really like too, but I just never really got too invested in these games. And plus, Ruby and Sapphire are just nothing close to as good as for a Hoenn experience as what Emerald is. Emerald, there's a lot of backtracking, sure, but it is literally the ultimate Hoenn experience in my eyes. Even with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in the picture, I still think Emerald is the best Hoenn experience. I love the change in the story, and I think it was super awesome to see how you had Kyogre and Groudon fighting, but then you went over and you summoned Rayquaza, and he stopped the fighting. Simple, but like, I really liked it, and I remember first playing Emerald as a kid. I loved that so much, and I thought it was so badass. But yeah, so I'm gonna put Emerald at A, and I'm gonna put Ruby and Sapphire all the way down at C. I never got too attached to Ruby and Sapphire. That's me being some bias. I will give credit; they are solid games, and they're not bad at all. But I am putting them at C just because like Emerald rules so far above them. Fire Red, Leaf Green, gonna put it B. They are really good remakes, but these Kanto games are basic, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's why they're going to be at B, just like straight up in that middle, because yes, they are definitely better than Red and Blue, not only graphically, but even just, being balanced in certain mechanics and everything. But however, I'm going to keep them at B. I really like these games, and I've played these games, like, a ton. I've played Fire Red 4 times, I played Leaf Green twice, and, the Leaf Green runs were actually with a friend. We used to, like, race each other. Not, like, speed running or anything, but just, like, sort of playing casually, but seeing who could get done first. I remember doing that whenever we were in, like, middle school. So, I'm going to put these at B, but I really do like these games, and I think they are definitely solid. Speaking of being solid, Diamond and Pearl. They would be C, but I'm gonna be nice here. Why would they be at C? Not only are these games super basic, but they are slow as all hell. It's hard replaying these games. I'm currently actually, I decided to replay Pearl, and it is really hard replaying it because it is so slow. However, and, you know, it does have a basic story. However, the Sinnoh region itself is really cool, and these games had a large impact, and, you know, they were super hyped, and I'm going to put them at B. I'm being nice here. I do like them a lot better than Ruby and Sapphire, but even Ruby and Sapphire weren't as slow as these games. But you know what the ultimate Sinnoh experience is? Oh, I just fucking misclicked. Well, that's anticlimactic. Platinum. Platinum is the ultimate Sinnoh experience. Not the ultimate Pokemon experience, but the ultimate Sinnoh experience. This game is 10 times better than Diamond and Pearl. Not only for, you know, the story, but also for the gameplay and the speed. Thank God they fixed that. And I really like how they introduced the Distortion world. Giratina was really cool in the story. I remember first playing it, and it was like, I remember I was so hyped, yet also a little terrified, because I honestly thought Giratina at first, whenever I was a kid, and I watched, like, that scene happen on, on Mount Coronet, I literally was like, wait, did he just kill Cyrus? I didn't know he dragged him in. I thought he killed him whenever I first played. So yeah, Giratina had a really, really big effect on me, and I really liked Platinum, so I'm going to put them there. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, these are the closest to perfect Pokemon games we will get. Is it a basic story? Yes. However, these games had so much to them. You explored 2 regions, Johto and Kanto, and you had, in my opinion, to this day, even after Sword and Shield, the most badass Pokemon battle of all time, and that's against Red. That was so cool, and I like the setting. Just everything about that battle is so... it's incredible. Kanto, exploring that again was really cool. Fighting the gym leaders and everything. I liked catching all the legendaries, except roaming legendaries. I have some beef with roaming legendaries. I don't really think anyone likes roaming legendaries. But yeah, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, super awesome. My only gripe is that, like, not only is the story super basic, but it also feels like the evil team is really forgettable. Even though it's the classic Team Rocket, the final boss, he has blue hair. I can't, is his name Arthur? I think his name's Arthur. He's like just a big letdown, especially if you have a good water type, which you should at that time, like I had a Feraligatr, and you just easily sweep him. But other than that, these games are perfect. Even though it has a basic storyline, there's so much content and so much to do in these games that I let it slide. Battle Frontier, Kanto, rematching gym leaders, rematching the Elite Four champion, battling Red, all of that. It has to put these games at S tier, and I think most of the community agrees with this. So, now, Black and White. Really controversial games. I feel like they're not as controversial nowadays. I'm putting them all the way up at A. Yes, there's only Unova Pokemon, but the Unova Pokemon and the Unova Dex is really good in my opinion. A lot of people like to focus on bad Pokemon, but, like, you know, like Trubbish, Garbodor, Vanillice. I can't remember those ones in specific order. But it also had really cool Pokemon. I like the starters on this one a ton. Samurot's really cool, Superior's awesome, and even Emboar. Emboar gets so much hate. Yes, I know, it's another fire fighting. It still looks cool in my opinion, and I love that line. Got a little carried away there, sorry. Haxorus is really cool. Hydreigon, Cofagrigus. The legendaries were really cool in this one, especially Zekrom, Reshiram, and Kyurem. And overall, I think these games deserve to be at A. Post-game was pretty good. Not like the best or anything, but it's certainly not the worst. It was something. But I'm going to give these games A, and I'm also going to give A to Black 2 and White 2. These games are in between S and A, but I'm putting them at A just because they're not as good as Heart Gold, Soul Silver, in my opinion. But I do think these are probably the 2 best games on this list, maybe other than Platinum. But here's why I like Black 2 and White 2 so much. So, yeah, the story follows Black and White. Obviously, it's a sequel. I think that's really cool, seeing the characters again, seeing Bianca, seeing Sharon, although I wish Sharon was, like, a better battle. I think it's cool that, yeah, he was the first gym, but I think it would have been really cool if he was, like, maybe 8th, just to, you know, give him more of an effect and have a really, like, awesome battle with him. But, hey, that's just me. Post-game was really good for these games. Something that not a lot of people talk about in post-game. Like, yeah, there was the tournament where you could fight the gym leaders and all that. But, like, and that, like, that's really cool. But, dude, the, I don't know what it's called in Black 2. It's like Black City, Black Tower. But, White, it's the White Tree Hollow. And whenever you fight in that battle tower, you actually get XP for it. And there's the final battle of it whenever you fight, it's Benji or Benga? Can't remember his name correctly. But, like, yo, he has a Latios, or a Latias, and it's a really awesome battle. And, like, that whole area has a good reward to it at the end. Whenever you beat that area, you can literally get a shiny Dratini or a shiny Gible, depending on what game you're playing. So that is literally a way that you grind and you can get a shiny for it, which is a perfect reward. And it's a really solid way to get your Pokemon all the way up to level 100, which I wish more post-game stuff would do like that. Yes, it's still a grind, but it's also kind of a fun grind. And the gameplay of Black and White and Black 2, White 2, the gameplay is perfect. I wanted to touch on this last. The gameplay is literally perfect. The sprites are amazing. I love how they kept the classic sprites, but added some animation and personality to it. And the animations and everything was so good in these games. So for that, I think all 4 of these deserve a solid, solid generation. X and Y. These are C tier. I don't hate these games. Story, super basic, whatever. Evil Team, Lysander, he's kind of cool, I guess. But this game, the real big thing that carries this game, in my opinion, is the Mega Evolution hype. And that, yeah, that's it. And I guess 3D graphics for the first time was really cool as well. But what drags these games down to C is that these games were way too easy. This is a common complaint with these games. But, like, seriously, you got Mega Evolution before everyone else. And everyone was a letdown. The gym leaders were super, super bad. Meaning they were easy. And, like, super forgettable. And not to mention, even the Elite Four were a letdown. I thought they were going to have Mega Evolutions or something. Nope, didn't even have that. And then the champion Diantha was a walk in the park. She has a cool team, but she was still just a walk in the park. Overall, these games are way too easy. And the post-game, it's just not that good. But I do have some love for these games. Just because I have good memories, you know, with, like, the online stuff with these games. But I'm going to keep them at C, but doesn't mean I hate them, but they don't compare to these ones up here. No way. These are solid games, though, right here. And these are a lot better, in my opinion, than Ruby and Sapphire. I love the Delta episode. The new Mega Evolutions were so, so, so cool. And, like, just seeing the hype for, like, Mega Sceptile and Swampert was super awesome to see. And, overall, yeah, these are definitely, like, I don't think it's the ultimate Hoenn experience. Emerald, in my opinion, I think Emerald is above these games. But these games are still really cool, and catching all the legendaries and, like, the way they did that with, like, the Hoopa portals, that was really clever. Soaring was really awesome as well. And these games, they were pretty easy, but they were still harder than X and Y, so I'm going to give them that. Definitely B tier. These games made me appreciate Hoenn a lot more, honestly. And for that, I'm going to give them B tier because, yeah, they are definitely solid. Sun and Moon. These games, they could totally be A, but since Ultra Sun and Moon exist, they got to go B because they just didn't really age well. The trial system was really cool. They weren't the hardest, but they weren't the easiest. And Z moves are alright, but yeah, these games are definitely B. I really like the story for these games, though. The game story was really cool, but everything that these games do Ultra Sun and Moon do better, and that's what confuses me. I'm like, why did you two exist whenever you guys exist? Because these games are, like, far superior, and they're even more difficult. Like, the Necrozma battle with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was, oh my gosh, I literally depended on my Incineroar. I will never forget this. My first time playing, it was Ultra Sun, had my Incineroar. I literally depended on my love for him, and, like, all the times that, you know, like, I pet him and fed him, like, those, like, Pokepuff stuff. I literally, like, the only reason I beat that Ultra Necrozma battle was because my Incineroar lived on 1 HP out of love, dodged out of love, and hit crits out of love. That was the only reason I beat Ultra Necrozma. That battle was so intense and difficult, and that's what Pokemon needs, some more difficulty to it. And for that, also, the Rainbow Team Rocket stuff, that was pretty cool. So for that, I'm going to give these games A. They definitely deserve it. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I'm going to give these B. They would be solid A tier for me. However, I'm not a fan of the new system. I miss wild battles. I think a majority of people do. However, these games, they do do their job. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are trying to get all the Pokemon Go players to get on their Switch and play a real Pokemon experience, being in the main series game. And it's trying to get them, like, easing into the main series of games. And yeah, they do that job perfectly. I love how the Pokemon follow you around. The small cutscenes when encountering, like, Mewtwo and then the 3 legendary birds was really awesome to see. Pokemon out in the wild was really awesome as well. Riding Charizard, like, dude, come on. That was so cool. Just for that, I want to put him at A, but I'm going to keep him at B. Sword and Shield. This one is interesting, because my first instinct is putting them at B, but they also got DLCs, and I feel like the DLCs are going to jump them up a lot. And I feel like the DLCs will make me be like, yeah, these are definitely A games. So I'm going to put them at A. Here's my thing with Sword and Shield, okay? One, gameplay is solid. I just don't like the whole Gigantamax thing. I think that's super, super, super lame. I feel like they should have just brought back Mega Evolutions at that point. But I do like Hop the Rival. I actually do, like, really like Hop. Whenever I first saw him in the trailer, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hate this rival. No, I like Hop. I like Leon the Champion. And I like some of the gyms. The legendaries are cool. Overall, though, like, these games, it definitely feels like they're gonna need some DLC to continue these games to make them stand out more in the Pokemon series. So I'm going to give them A. My gut instinct was give them B, but I'm going to trust that the DLCs are going to make me say, yes, these are definitely 100% A games. But yeah, and, like, even without the DLCs, these games aren't bad. It's just, I don't know. My expectations were maybe too high, and that's, like, totally my fault. I also didn't, like, the Pokemon in this, the Galar region, they're really cool. Not a fan of the starters, though. I'll be honest, I think this is one of the most disappointing sets of starters we have seen. And then, like, story is obviously, like, super basic, but, again, I mean, I don't really mind that too much. I think these games were really, they're just solid. And so I'm going to give them A. I can't wait for the DLCs, because, like, right now I'm like, yeah, maybe they're A, but once these DLCs come out, I am hoping that I will be able to look back at this video and say, I'm so glad I put them at A. Because if I look back at this video after the DLCs and I'm like, man, I wish I would have put them at B, I'm gonna I'm gonna want to punch myself in the jaw. But yeah, this is my tier list. Yes, I could move some of these around, like Black 2, White 2, I could put it S if I wanted. Even Platinum, I could put it S. But I'm gonna stick with my list here, and I'm gonna keep these. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I actually do like these tier list things. Doing these videos are actually kind of fun. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about Pokemon. One of my favorite series, if not my favorite series, just in gaming. I love playing these games. I've actually been replaying my Pokemon games just on my free time, having a lot of fun. And I'm going to work on some reviews for these games, sort of like in-depth reviews and stuff. Just kind of, you know, give my personal opinion and give appreciation for you know, these games, and then even some criticism. But anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and yeah, I want to definitely make more Pokemon content, because I really, really, really like Pokemon a lot. So, yeah, peace out, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Stay safe.